Jamal. This is the Jamal Show. This is the Jamal Show. Jamal. Jamal. This is the Jamal Show.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, Hartford. Good morning. It is a pretty warm weather morning out here today in Hartford and the 33 surrounding counties that hear my voice. Welcome to the Jamal Show. My name is Jamal. I am the host, and my views definitely don't represent this station. Don't get us confused. Before I get started, I'm letting everybody know that we are looking for sponsors for this show. You can write us at the Jamal Show. JamalShowRadio@gmail.com. That is JamalShowRadio@gmail.com. We need sponsors. You can also like the Jamal Show on Facebook. We need sponsorships. Our first one, Final Touch Landscaping, probably will be coming on soon. We are talking to them as we speak. We got a lot to cover today. I had a great show lined up. Unfortunately, my show is on Saturdays. Saturday mornings, as you well know. And yesterday, at 5:02 p.m., end of the workday, a man named Robert Mueller released his report that not many people want to read. Just kidding. Everybody in the world wants to read it. 90% of Americans are polled to want it released, detailing possible collusion, possible obstruction of justice, and other related matters regarding the President of the United States. President lying bastard. Excuse my French. I had a lot to get interrupted. This just came out yesterday. There's a few things about this. I really want to talk about this next week because we don't know much about the report. And he's now the most envied man in the world when it comes to the press because he alone has the entire report that Bob Mueller has released. Now, there's not much we know about it on the inside, but we do know a few things. A couple of comments I want to make about this really quickly. I find it really odd that it was released on Friday at 5:02. Why? Anybody that knows press, anybody that knows Washington politics knows that you only release reports on Friday that you are not proud of. If you're very proud of a report, you release it to the press on Monday morning, so they have the whole week to talk about it. Things that are released on Friday is called the Friday dump. Things that are released on Friday usually are meant to be hidden. That's why the White House releases a lot of its press releases on Fridays or what have you. So I was a little skeptical of that. Why would it release at 5:02? Plus, the press has been hanging out of Bob Mueller's office for the past 2 weeks, watching him go in and out. And the morning of the release, he really didn't look that happy, to be honest with you. He looked like he knew people were going to be pissed off. You release a report at 5:02 p.m. on Friday when you know your boss is going to be pissed off about it and you don't want to hear from him for the weekend, right? Right. So that's a little bit concerning. Also, he has told the Justice Department that there will be no more indictments. That includes sealed indictments, which begs the question, if the president is guilty of colluding with the Russians, and it would seem so, right? He's had his team has had over 100 meetings. It's been confirmed with Russian entities discussing things they should not have been discussing and lying about them, right? So a lot of people would think, well, he's been doing this in our face. Where's the mystery here, right? But apparently, there are no more indictments regarding obstruction or collusion, which only means that Robert Mueller didn't find the necessary, he didn't pass the necessary bar that it would take to convict somebody. In other words, if you commit a crime, The prosecutor has a choice here. He can indict you, or he can decide that he doesn't have enough evidence to indict you, even though he thought you did it. So it could be many things here that led to no indictments. Because that would preclude the president being indicted for such a thing if there was no one to conspire with, right? If he didn't have a team to conspire with, then he couldn't have been guilty of this. So that's what people are saying. I say let's wait for the report to come out. I shouldn't even be discussing it this much because we just don't know. We don't know any more than we knew last week. All we know now is that it has been released. In the report, though, I will point out that he's supposed to lay out why he did and why he did not indict people. So there's supposed to be an explanation in it. I'm told the report is comprehensive, and I'm told that it will cover a lot of things. It's hundreds of pages in length. The Attorney General is supposed to get back to us before the end of the weekend and tell us what the main points are. But already people are a little bit disappointed by the fact that it seems like Trump has been obstructing justice in everybody's face, and there's no more indictments regarding that. We don't know what that means yet, and Mueller has to explain that in his report, and we're looking forward to it. So I'm going to hold most of my judgment back until next week because there's a pressing issue in the White House right now, and it's not President Trump this time, although that is a pressing issue. I want to tell you a little story about the ghost of John McCain. The moral of the story is, and I'm going to go ahead and reveal this. There's a revealer right here. Is the president crazy? Over the past last week, he had nothing to do on his schedule, Trump. So, of course, he tweeted powerful and uplifting statements. Not. I'm just kidding on that. Since his election, Mr. Trump has averaged about 15 tweets per weekend, according to New York Times analysis of his tweets. But last weekend proved to be an unusually active 48 hours online for Mr. Trump, from Friday morning to supporters who have limited public reach on their own. So he tweeted it was about 70 times in all over the weekend, last weekend. What did he tweet about? Something substantive? No. Nonsense. He suggested that Saturday Night Live should be investigated for anti-Trump bias. I mean, where are you going to go with that? Saturday Night Live, who's been making fun of presidents since I was a kid, which was a long time ago. Eddie Murphy, I grew up in the days of Eddie Murphy. I love Saturday Night Live. Great. They're actually really, really good when it comes to political comedy, I think. They've mimicked every president since Nixon, I believe. Well, actually, they weren't around during Nixon, but they've mimicked every president since Carter, I believe. I think they go back to Carter. No other president has threatened them with retribution, except this one. Why? People say, don't pay attention to what Trump says, pay attention to what he does. But they ignore the fact that saying something is doing something, right? If you don't believe me, husbands, go take your wives some flowers. That's an act. Take her some red roses today and tell her, I hope you know this doesn't mean I love you. Let's see if she'll pay attention to your words or your actions on that one. Go tell your mother you hate her, but give her a kiss on the cheek. The actions should overplay the words, right? If the words don't mean anything, then you should be able to say whatever you want to people. Go tell your boss you hate him, but you're going to do a good job today. Do a great job and then tell your boss you hate him. See if your words matter. In any case, we like to change the bar of what we'll accept from another human when it comes to Donald Trump for some reason. What else? Which I would think is an honorable goal, to be quite honest with you, but it's a lie. It's not true. He said McCain was last, and it's not true. He was actually fifth from last, and he's always joked about it. McCain has always joked about it. Meanwhile, at the same time, President lying bastard was ordering his henchmen to hide his grades. He ordered his henchmen to threaten schools to hide his grades, and he goes and criticizes other people's grades. He did the same thing to Barack Obama, if you remember. Where's Barack Obama's grades? Where's yours? But, hypocrisy is this guy's middle name, so, I mean, you got to expect that from him, right? He defended his during this tweet storm last week, and he defended his favorite Fox News host, one of which is currently suspended by for her anti-Muslim remarks. That would be Janine Pirro, who was, by the way, I'm from New York, I'm from Harlem, so I remember when she was an actual judge in upstate New York. She was actually kind of popular at the time, but she was nothing like she is now. A little bit of scandal. She was always in the paper because her husband was always cheating on her. That's just a New York thing. I don't think it reached national news, but it was an interesting thing. I think they're still married. In any case, that's neither here nor there. Another thing that Trump did last weekend was he told Fox News, "Be strong and prosper." Stealing from our favorite Vulcan, Spock. "Be weak and die," whatever that means. This guy is really, really off the hook. That's my conclusion. Now, Brian Ott, who studies the effects of rhetoric at Texas Tech University, and he's actually the author of a book studying Mr. Trump's tweets, said the president appeared to have become less concerned about the consequences of his messaging. I wonder why. Not only is it already getting worse, Dr. Ott said, I don't think we've even seen the tip of the iceberg. His only play is to stoke vitriol and violence. We already see that, right? Let's go on. He tweeted about more subjects that made no sense. He threatened to take federal funding from colleges and universities over what he calls free speech. Now, in doing this, he's highlighting a case of a right-wing supremacist who was punched in the face at Berkeley in California. This guy was spreading right-wing propaganda, white supremacist propaganda at Berkeley, and someone punched him in the face. I do not support violence, but Trump said that he took a punch in the face for all of us. In support of this announcement, he will be signing an executive order on Thursday, forcing colleges to certify that their policies support free speech. What does that mean? They're going to sign a letter saying, yeah, we support free speech. You know what? There's already a document that forces free speech upon all of us. It's called the Constitution. So why is this necessary? It's not. This is a performance presidency. So he's going to sign this executive order, but how will it be enforced? Is he going to send people to colleges like, hey, are you enforcing free speech, people? Is he going to send bodyguards with all the right-wing activists to make sure that they don't get punched in the face? What is he going to do? Nothing. This is all just show. Meanwhile, many college campuses oppose the order. A lot of college campuses feel like this is not necessary, and you know what? They happen to be right. So what's going to happen? Well, he's going to sign this order. It'll be another thing that he's going to list on his list of accomplishments that aren't really accomplishments. Meanwhile, again, he has John McCain on the brain. And let me point out, there's been no defense, virtually, from Republicans, from other Republicans, about the defense of John McCain. And what this makes me think is that John McCain was really a part of the wrong party. These guys have turned on him. They are making fun of him and stomping on his gravesite while he's just 7 months dead. His wife is still here grieving. His daughter is still here grieving. He's got 2 daughters, in fact, 3 sons. 2 of his sons, from what I understand, are in the military, which means they directly work for the president that's disparaging their father. Should. Even prisoners. I was watching So Tough on Crime for decades in the world for the most part. So people are literally dying in prison. They've had to come up with hospices in these prisons all over the United States. Hospices. And other prisoners have had to sign up as volunteers. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff to dig into here. But we have John McCain on the brain in the White House, and there's no defense from the Republicans. There was a response from Mitt Romney, however. And let me go over what Mitt Romney said. He gave the most tepid of responses. He basically said, I have no idea why anybody would disparage the name of John McCain, my friend. He's a war hero. He's selfless. He's giving. He's a wonderful guy. So I have no idea why the president would want to do this. There was one other Republican, nameless, a guy in senator from Georgia, who went on a talk radio show and said, "Yeah, the president should be whipped for this." But otherwise, all these so-called friends of John McCain that went crying at his funeral, making all these big statements about how he influenced all of us. And I'm not even a Republican, and I'm saying this. You know, you don't hear anything from them while Trump stomps on his grave. His best friend, Lindsey Graham, remains silent. So that goes to show you a little bit about where their loyalties lie. It's a little bit disheartening, to be honest with you, about humans. You know, what else is Trump doing? He got into a feud with Kellyanne Conway's husband. Now, her name is Kellyanne Conway. She's the chief spokeswoman or defender of the president on cable news channels. But I call her Kellyanne Conwoman because that's what she is. She's married to a man named George Conway. He's been having a war with Trump on Twitter, and I love it. They've been aggravating each other back and forth, which is funny since George is married to Trump's biggest supporter. Now, between you and me, don't tell anybody. This is going to be just between me and you. I think Kellyanne is in on what her husband is doing. People have been talking for 2 years about how she's really the biggest leaker in the White House. So I don't think she's going home and they're arguing about this. I think she's like, dude, this guy's crazy. Tweet him off a little bit. I think that's what he's doing. So this past week, George has implied that the president is nuts. He has tweeted symptoms of what they call narcissistic personality disorder, another disorder that he thinks the president has shown symptoms of. Let me read you a little bit from this description, and you tell me if you think this matches what the president is exhibiting. This is narcissistic personality disorder. Diagnostic criteria 301-.81 of the medical diagnostic, blah, 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 blah. I'm not a doctor, so you figure it out. A pervasive pattern of grandiosity and fantastical behavior, a need for admiration, and a lack of empathy, beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts, as indicated by 5 or more of the following. 1. Has a grandiose sense of self-importance, exaggerates achievements and talents, expects to be recognized as superior, occupied with fantasies, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Trump believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status people or institutions. Trump. Number 4, requires excessive admiration. Who else could that be? Number 5, has a sense of entitlement. Number 6, is interpersonally exploitative of, and I'm going to add this part in, of, children in cages type of thing, changing the demographics of America. Number 7, lacks empathy again, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. Think Trump in Puerto Rico. Number 8, is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. One of the things that Trump tweeted to George Conway is that you're jealous in the White House. Trump then turned around and said, well, we turned you down because your wife said you wouldn't be good. So now he's playing home wrecker, right? Soon after, the Washington Post posted George Conway's decline letter to work in the White House. So once again, the president was lying his ass off. 2 more. 8, is often envious of others, and I already went over that one. Number 9, he shows arrogance, haughty behaviors, or attitudes. All those are Trump. So George Conway is white. Just yesterday, and this goes on, people. This is an ongoing saga. George Conway said to the Washington Post in an interview, he said he doesn't want to yell at his wife when she gets home. So this is his way of releasing pressure. He says it's so maddening. All the mendacity, the lying, the obstruction of justice, the not respecting of traditional values and legal opinions. All this is just maddening. So he has to let loose somehow. And he's glad the president is responding because he's just illustrated that George is telling the truth. Just yesterday, George Conway tweeted that Trump has to win in 2020 to avoid indictment. Guess what, people? I think that's true. Now, what's driving all this madness from the president? What's driving him to melt down in such a way? I would offer, a lot of people are making different assumptions. But first, the Mueller report just released yesterday. You know, knowing what we all know about his meetings, his campaign meetings with different Russian oligarchs or what have you, I would be nervous too. Mind you, the Mueller report's only one investigation, though, and it's a fairly narrow one. The big ones are coming from the Southern District of New York, the Manhattan District Attorney, the Eastern District of New York, and Washington. There's another one. There are 17 different investigations of Donald Trump right now going on. All of them are wider than Mueller's. All of them are more dangerous than Mueller's. Mueller was given a specific credo, a specific goal. Find out if there was collusion, find out if there was obstruction to the level where we can call it a criminal act. Now, that doesn't mean there were no obstructions. That doesn't mean that he didn't collude. That just means that if no one's indicted of it, that just means that these people have not done it to the level where they can consider it a criminal act. That doesn't mean people haven't done wrong. Good morning, Gail.
Good morning.
Gail just stepped in. We'll be talking in just a second. So there are 17 other investigations in Congress that are bigger than this. And pretty much they're investigating every organization Donald Trump has ever led in his entire life. The Trump organization may not even be there when he gets out of office if these investigations are correct or on point. So, you know, there's a lot of things going on here. And he's nervous and he's tweeting, and George Conway is responding back in a pretty funny way, in a way that I find very, very entertaining. Now, with that, before we get on to some other subjects, I want to play you a little music. Give my voice a rest. Get my friend Gail already up here in the station so we can tackle some other subjects. You are with the Jamal Show. We are very happy to have you. Like Jamal, the Jamal Show page on Facebook. Everybody hear some music, folks. How you doing? Good to see you. Here, take this. This is mine too. I hope you got the outline. I was wrong on that first segment, so we're probably going to just skip to the tidbits. I do want to say something about the college scandal a little bit, because there have been some hits. Hold on.
You see the kid that had a 4-point-something grade average, he couldn't get into that same school?
Oh, really? Let's talk about it. Bring that up. Thank you. Let's talk about that. But I think we'll have a lot of fun with the tidbits that I put up at the end. Yeah. Because there's some R.Kelly news. You know, those parents did take some money. I was like,
they did.
I just find that so odd, yo.
Money is dirty. Money is dirty. That's why R.Kelly walked away the first time.
But money is like grease. It gives you a reason to like ignore things. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I was gonna say I have my Chinese. Her son couldn't get that same University of California with a 4-point-something grade average. He was denied. You got some ladies playing soccer or whatever, or sports where they didn't get it on a scholarship. That's the whole scandal. That's the whole other part of the scandal.
What?
Is that they got it on scholarships, right? But they're not athletes.
Right, yeah, I remember that part. Let's talk about all that. This is a good friend of mine, by the way.
You know, I'm just here to make you laugh too. So I look the serious stuff. I let you do all that. I just chime in and just talk that smack.
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal's the new Papa John.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
Papa. I may not say that cute. You'll be mad.
No, you can keep.
Dennis me. I'll say Big Papa. Yeah, you'll be mad as well. Hey. The microphone is still on.
Oh. I'll put it on after the music. You'll be able to hear yourself in a second.
Huh?
You'll be able to hear yourself in a second. You can't suck because the music on.
Okay. I want to make sure we're talking bad joke.
Yeah. Only this is on. Yeah, but you didn't say anything bad. Rockin' you, steady rockin' you.
Oh boy.
How you been doing this week?
Can't complain.
I hope it wasn't a close family member that died, was it?
Huh?
I hope it wasn't a close family member that died or anything.
Yeah, that's a church family member of mine. So.
Okay.
You know DJ London?
Yeah, I heard of him.
That's him.
You look great. Do you make yourself up in the morning every day?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I'm not a girl.
Yeah.
I get up, I put a wet cloth on my face.
Well, it don't take much. I mean, it ain't like I gotta go home.
But you don't have to work or nothing today, do you?
No. My son got locked up over here in East Hartford and they were torturing my boy today.
Right now?
Yeah. He went to go get some mental health at the hospital because he had a warrant, I guess, because he's not getting medicine. They locked him up in the jail.
They're not supposed to pull him out of a hospital, though. Was he already in?
They accept him into that because they said he's not exhibiting mental, whatever. So,
unfortunately, get on.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And we are back. Can you hear?
Yes. I know. Actually, no.
You can't hear. You can't hear yourself?
No.
All right. We got to fix that. Give me a second.
That'd be good.
All right. Hold on. All right. We're going to get started, and you still can't hear?
No.
Anything? Let me move over here.
Okay.
Say hello.
Hey. So, maybe it's just my other one is not on.
No, it's okay. We'll both use this one for the time being.
All right.
Because I want to talk a little bit about an update for this case. The affirmative action for white people case, all right? White, rich over other people. Now, the update I want to do upon this is that, one, people are losing their jobs. Now, I don't know if you think that's right or wrong, but people are losing their jobs now. Fuller House. She's not on any of the episodes. The Hallmark Channel has basically fired her. The law firm head, the chair of the law firm, I forgot his name, but he is no longer the chair of the law firm. I think his law license is going to get taken.
It better.
Other actors are making fun of him. You know, this guy, Ben Stiller, was on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and I'll let you respond to this. But he said that his kid is about to go to college, and she's going on a football scholarship. It's a woman. And her... her major is going to be like Photoshop or something. He was making a joke. Perpetrators could go to jail. This is a very serious thing, and they're being asked to turn in other parents.
Yeah.
Now, you were saying something before during the break about how if a kid has a 4.0 GPA.
Yeah, it was on the news the other day on Channel 3. You know, I'm not like you. I didn't do no extensive research, but the point of the matter is this kid had a 4.0 average grade point average, 4.0 grade average.
And you want to talk about someone who's not appreciative. Olivia Jade is Lori Loughlin's daughter, and she's actually blaming her mother for ruining her life right now.
I don't blame her.
Not because she had to leave college. She did drop out of college.
I don't blame her.
She dropped out of the school, but check this out. Her big thing was that she's a YouTube celebrity, and she's got like endorsements from Fabergé and like Estee Lauder. She's making a little bit of money on the side than a YouTube beauty liver or whatever that's about, personality. And she's like her endorsements have now dropped her over this. Even though she didn't really do anything. Her mother did it. And she adds that she wasn't really interested in college in the first place. It's a S sandwich and we all got to take a bite, basically. Yeah. And so she's not even being appreciative. So this was a stupid thing to do. But it goes to show you that being rich is not enough anymore in America. Even the rich people say that. You know what I'm saying? So... Right. You know, you can have a 4.0 and they'll still take your place in college. And I just wanted to give a few updates on that. We have some more tidbits that I'm going to cover, including some R.Kelly updates and everything else.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to have you here. How was your day, by the way?
It was good. You know, a little stressful overnight, but other than that, it's good. I'm trying to make my first dress, my African dress, and I will be at an African show over at New Antioch in Hartford at 4. So if y'all want to see your girl glamour up in my own stuff, holla.
Oh, that's why you're all pretty today. Okay, I was wondering why you were pretty today.
Oh, this is just natural beauty.
I hear
Jamal.
that. I'm like, you know what? As a man, I get up, I wipe my face with a wet cloth, and I'm out of the house. And
Well,
I'm looking at you. I'm like, you did more than that.
well, I just did a little makeup, you know, a
look
little
great.
eyeshadow, you know, man.
You look great. A little bit about R. Kelly, right quick.
Yeah.
He asked to go to Dubai to do some work. Now I understand that. He doesn't really have much of a fanship here. See him at shows right now.
Really?
Apparently, they're taking him off streaming sites.
Oh.
I'm still kind of bugging out over the fact that R. Kelly is broke. I don't understand that. You know how many millions of dollars had to come through his hands? Like, how many times a day do you hear R. Kelly normally before this all happened? Like 3, 4, 5 times a day?
Yeah, but you gotta remember too, back in the day, he's from the back in the day where your management did all the things for you. And he was just one of those people who's going to get caught because his money, it was not where he thought it was going to be. You heard plenty of big time actors or music people who all of a sudden, I mean, they don't know their business. You know, they don't know their business. So somebody else is handling it for you. R. Kelly, it could be possibly broke, according to his accountant.
Yeah, you know, I understood that with Michael Jackson. Like supermarket to supermarket,
Right.
From market to market, basically.
Exactly.
And butt stuff. Like every time he left the store, he left the bill of like $20,000. Yeah. We're talking about a guy. We don't know him to do that. We just know him to have a fetish for women, which he can be expensive.
Yeah, I know it.
I've known women to like money before. So you know, and men, and hangers on. And when you're a big star like him, everyone expects you to have money, so you're paying for everything. I just don't get. You know, slow down. You know, you stop spending money for a month and you're a millionaire again.
Yeah,
you know?
But did you see some of the parents were taking bribes from him?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into that.
Money is money.
Okay, so
dirty money, good money, bad money.
So I'll admit,
M-O-N-E-Y.
So 2 weeks ago, I was sitting in front of my laptop with tears in my eyes, watching these parents like.
Crying
what
for
he's
them.
doing, he's doing is
holding my
he's
child.
holding my child against me.
Yeah.
And he's a monster, man. He's a monster. I can't wait to. I was listening to that and I had tears coming to my eyes. Lo and behold, just 2 days ago, I'm watching.
Smash that sheet off.
Yeah, I'm watching this interview with Gayle King again with the parents, and they're like, well. Yeah, he flew us to Chicago a few times, and then we were at a hotel, and he was asking us.
This is paid.
He asked us, you know, could he take our daughter on tour? And we were like, yeah. I'm like, what? Why is this just coming out? Wait a minute. So then they're like, yeah, so for like a year, we were pitching business ideas to him.
Okay, so like I said, snatch the sheet off.
Like, I wish people in the audience could see my face right now. They were pitching business ideas to R. Kelly while R. Kelly had their daughter in a hotel room for like a year. Yeah. Right?
No problem.
And he was saying no to all of them. Now, even if this was for business, wouldn't you take your daughter back at this point? Like, would you be like, yo, man, this ain't working out? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but what kind of parent in the first place? I mean, I know we all, like you said, all people love money. But do you give your child away?
Well, then, when they asked him to take the daughter on tour, right?
What was she going to be doing, though?
They said they
sure wasn't backup singing.
R. Kelly was like, yo, well, here's my record company.
Maybe backing up.
Yeah, backing up. Yeah, right? R. Kelly was like, here's my record company person, you know, Chanel, whoever. Yeah. She's going to be the chaperone. First of all, anybody that knows the music industry never put a record company person in charge of anything.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't even manage their artists.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, artists trash hotel rooms all the time. The manager never does anything. They work for the person. So... Like, they seem a little gullible to me. Yeah. And then if R. Kelly is, like, paying for your plane tickets all over the place, and you're pitching business deals to him, and they're not being accepted, they're not being accepted, you got to assume that he wants something back for those plane tickets, right? And what does he have? Well, he has your daughter.
But you already knew this prior to this situation. You knew R. Kelly for R. Kelly. He's never hidden it. Right. You know? Never.
Oh, but, you know, he deals with other artists. Then they were saying, well, she was 17. But, yeah, pretty much. You know, there's stuff behind that. I saw an interview with Damon Dash, who was Aaliyah's boyfriend when she was killed by that plane crash. Mm-hmm. And he says that Aaliyah was traumatized over her relationship with R. Kelly. And... that's part of the reason why Rockefeller broke up. Oh. He was saying that he refused to deal with R. Kelly anymore, and when Jay-Z did those 2 albums, he refused to have any part of it because of what he did to Aaliyah.
Oh, man.
But he wanted to speak to R. Kelly about it, but Aaliyah was like, no, let's let bygones be bygones. Mm-hmm. And in fact, Jay-Z's work with R. Kelly is what broke up Rockefeller, broke up Damon Dash with Jay-Z. That's just an allegation. Who knows if that's really true or not. Damon Dash has said a lot over the past few years. But what's really interesting is that the twists and turns that the story keeps having.
Yeah.
You know, there's still more.
He gonna walk away.
I would have never guessed that he actually gave these parents money. Like, who's gonna be dumb enough?
But really, I just think it's just so obvious, though. You know.
If my daughter was beautiful and she
Then
went to
you
the
protect
hotel,
her.
yeah, and she went to the hotel to meet R.Kelly, and then afterwards he was like, "Yo, man, you want to go to Disney World?"
But
I'd be like,
but listen at it. Going to the hotel. Remember that song? Going to the hotel.
Yeah.
So like, he's not telling you any lie. Why would you want your daughter to be in a hotel? Anybody that's of age, knowing you go into a hotel, it ain't typically to have a party, not unless you're renting out the suites or something. But the hotels is a hotel.
yeah, but to me that's the giveaway. It's like
and tell.
once a dude's like, "Hey, you want to go to Disney World now?" I've been hanging with your daughter for a week.
No,
I think you should go to. I think you deserve to go to Disney World. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
horrible.
well, what did you do to her to make you think you owe me? You know what I'm saying? So this is turning out to be really, really dirty. He's going to Dubai, hopefully, to go get some money to pay his child support.
What you think he should be able to go to Dubai?
Yes, because you gotta let a guy defend himself. You know, he is a singer. Yes, he should have money. I can't come up with any good reason why R. Kelly is broke. I really can't. Like, yes, he lives in Trump Tower, but that rent's only like $4,000 or $5,000 a month. All right, this dude should be bringing in $250,000 a quarter, easy, just on publishing, just on copyrights. He should be bringing in crazy money. So this is his own fault. The fact that he's behind $161,000. Like, I saw an interview with his daughters. They live in a nice house. Obviously, they get some money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But this is one of the biggest played artists ever in the history of R&B.
Well, yeah, to me, yes.
So he's a dummy. You know what I'm saying? I still think over the weekend a third video came out. So
he's illiterate too. I mean, that's known too.
No, I've heard that. Is that true?
That's what I heard. I mean, I ain't Google it, but I heard in this news
Yeah.
Jamal.
Yeah. You know me, I did Google it. I did Google it. I found an interview with Nick Cannon.
Oh.
Who's not really known as a liar. I actually respect him.
I think Nick is a cool dude.
He's a very talented individual, very straight-headed. I saw an interview with him where he said that R. Kelly can't read, and that's why he likes young girls.
Yeah.
That he can't read.
Yeah.
Now, I've always blown that off. I know that was made fun of in Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if the correlation has anything to do with each other, but it would make sense if that's your mentality and that's your way of thinking. We talked about earlier, maybe he was molested by a woman as a child, you know, so maybe there's something about him that needs to be looked into, not just this.
I actually heard another rumor that part of the reason, like when he goes to the studio to write songs, he doesn't write down songs. He actually does it by repetition,
right?
By just singing it over and over again, and that would make sense if he couldn't read.
That's why you learn the nursery rhymes, right?
Yeah.
You can hear a baby hum a nursery. I'm at an ABC.
Oh, we are at 10:40.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna play something else and let us cool down a little bit because we want to talk about Shaq, Poppa John. Want to talk a little bit about the Atlanta child murders because I used to live in Atlanta a little bit, so I want to talk a little bit about that. We're gonna get to some tidbits.
All right, cool.
Tell everyone how you're feeling while I go to the music.
All right, I'm feeling good today, like I should. Woke up this morning in my right mind.
Let's do it.
Yeah, play some music for me.
Okay, I should not be doing that.
Turn down the other one in the middle.
Middle.
Yeah.
Same thing all over again.
That's your theme
He's
song.
gonna have to train me to do this better. I'm gonna have to get probably a producer. Alright. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm gonna have to have this guy stay teaching me some more next time. It's hard to like keep your mind on two different things, but this should be easier. I don't know what's happening with the mic. Hold on for a minute. Let me see what happens. See if I can fix this mic.
I just wanna take you home. 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 Pour a little bit of again, like, oh, let's go. Take a drink, take a sip, hey, I'm ready to flow. Keep it rocking, keep it popping like Nelly and Joe. I take her back to the telling that she's ready to blow. You're the jump off, baby, and we're up in the night. Hop in the whip, come on, let's ride. If you feel alright, then I feel alright. If you can sing it with me one more time. You're the jump off, baby, and we're up in the night.
Hello? Hello, hello, hello? We're gonna end that way too because the mic two is not working. not one thing, it's another, boy.
It's all right. That's how foods go. Yin and yang.
If it's not one thing, it's
Keep
another.
you balanced.
Thanks for telling me this, man.
Yeah.
I guess I got to learn the hard way.
I took that garbage can off that door. Should I have left it in there?
Oh, that's cool. I left it open for you.
Yeah, man. I don't like to get it in the place. Yeah, I'm from the hood.
All right. So, do you know anything about the Atlanta child murders?
Mm-mm.
All right. I'm gonna tell a quick story about that, and then we're just gonna go into Shaq and Papa John.
Yeah, let's do Shaq and Papa John. That Atlanta child murder.
Yeah, yeah.
That's too serious. That's
too serious.
like,
All right.
too
Let's do Shaq and Papa John.
Yeah.
I hope we can make that go 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's a little bit more fun.
Okay, we'll do that.
You know.
You heard about it though, right?
I didn't hear about it until I read it on your thing, and I looked at
Okay.
it. It's true.
Okay,
And
so
I
I'm gonna
think
go
it's
into
a
the
good fit,
story.
though.
I'm gonna tell the story a little bit, and then we can
Okay.
go back and forth on the commentary.
Mm-hmm.
Like last year, I'm gonna go to the story about how Papa John got kicked off his
Yeah.
own board for the N-word on the phone call. Blah blah blah. Phone call was leaked. All right. Cool. It's all done.
So you got a baby on the way, or was that just
Me?
Did you?
My,
Did you say me?
No, yeah. My
Yeah, like ain't
son,
nobody in here but
my
you.
son was born last week.
Oh really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I keep that off. It's like family stuff, but yeah, I thought I told you. Yeah, I thought I told you. Huh?
You had it on Facebook. On Facebook.
I had it on Facebook that I was gonna have
My
a son.
baby was gonna be 9 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, but he wasn't born at the time. That was a week before he was born. They weighed him in her stomach. I don't know how they do that.
Oh, yeah.
And I just
She
thought that was
measured.
big, you know. But I never announced that he was born. She did all that.
Okay. Like I say, baby, this is the yin and the yang.
I'm gonna go into the story and then we'll go back and forth. Yeah. All right, start talking. I'm coming over. Now,
He is back.
we've heard about this Shaq thing, right? Shaq has been
Shaquille.
making money for a long, long time, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
The last time, actually, I'll be honest with you, I was actually a little bit Jamal friend. The last time I read about him, I think, what was that, Hoops? I think he was dating Hoops from, like, Flavor of Love. And Hoops is just super fun, so I actually kind of liked Hoops. So he's a very rich man, so it doesn't surprise me. Let me just say this. I'll start the story off like this. There's a franchise called Papa John's. Everyone knows about it. Expanding franchises of all time. Pizza. Founded by a guy named John Snatter. John Snatter had a board governing his pizza chain franchise. They went public. They made a lot of money. He's a billionaire. While he was on the phone with his board about 2 years ago, he used the N-word. Now, these board meetings are supposed to be private, but apparently someone on the board, they're very independent in nature, each one of them.
Right.
And someone on the board actually leaked to the press that he said the N-word. Now, apparently he said it in the most innocent of ways. And I do believe in context. I do believe that there's a way to say the N-word in a contextual manner such that it's not very offensive to everybody. I don't know if he did that or not. I can move back a little bit. I don't know if he did.
I want to be able to see you on your podcast.
It's okay. I'm doing a podcast, y'all, at the same time, a video podcast. So we're just trying to fix the camera at the same time. In any case, as a result of Papa John's loose lips with the N-word, people are boycotting Papa John's as a franchise. They've lost billions of dollars of value on the stock market. The stock went down. In a move clearly designed to stop the bleeding, though, they've made Shaq into a board member of the company. Shaquille O'Neal on the board. Now, this isn't Shaq's first time being involved in restaurants. He has a restaurant in Las Vegas called Big Chicken. He has one in California, which I forgot the name of. And
Probably Big Bird.
People might be familiar with the Five Guys Burgers franchise. He had 27 of those at one point. I think he sold those. He's gotten rid of those. And now, not only is he let me just fix this. Not only is he on the board of Papa John's, but he's investing in 5 Papa John's restaurants. 9 Papa John's restaurants in Atlanta as part of his investment into the company, and he's becoming the company spokesperson. Now, you might remember he does hot. He's a big endorser right now.
He does the general.
Yeah, the general. I'm not actually too
I like
happy with
that
that.
commercial.
I love the commercial, but the general is not exactly. I mean,
Why?
obviously-
Because it's cheap.
yeah. I'm tired of like black celebrities being used to sell like cheap services.
I
Like
gotta work.
I got over like I was mad at Rush, the guy that founded Def Jam Records, right?
Oh.
He had this thing called the Rush card,
Yeah.
which is like a prepaid card.
Yeah.
Now prepaid cards are usually sold to like
Hey.
you know what I'm talking about. So it's kind of and no, they usually are packed with fees. You know what I'm
You
saying?
talking about Richard Simmons or something like that? What's his
No,
name?
Russ. I'm talking about the guy that started Def Jam, Russell Simmons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Russ card.
That's
So
what I'm saying. Yeah.
when you sell those kind of prepaid cards, they're usually packed with fees, and usually poor people end up paying more taxes than rich people do because of the way that these things are divvied out. The general is the same way. Like you'll pay for the general, right?
Yeah.
And then you'll get into an accident, and you'll have maybe a problem or two, right? So he's not attesting to the quality of the services. He's just he's an
just a
endorser.
spokesperson.
Right? He's a
Right.
spokesperson,
Oh.
and everybody likes Shaq.
Everybody loves Shaq.
A couple of years ago, he was on ESPN and he tripped over a wire and fell. He fell on his ass, like hard.
Literally on his ass.
Yeah, like
His
hard.
face.
And he got up and laughed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
you
yeah.
like Shaq too, right?
Yeah, I love Shaq. And I was Shaq was my man.
You think he's handsome?
Yeah, I always did. I know he like little ladies too.
Yeah, he does. His wife is like the size of a can of soda.
11.
She's like the size of a soda can. So,
Yeah.
and he takes care of his kids.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
He's a good dude, just like LeBron James.
So
good.
why don't you like him for the Papa John thing though? I mean, they gotta kind of stop the bleed.
No, I actually like Papa John's pizza. I
don't.
I'm gonna take an opposite side of most people and say that John Snatter's remark probably wasn't that bad. Here's the problem with him. The problem is that he's known to be on the right,
Oh.
and you can't get away. Like Donald Trump can only get away with certain one thing. Like people on the left get away with more, obviously, because
Right.
Chuck Schumer's not a racist, obviously, right?
Right.
So it would be forgotten if Chuck Schumer said Negro one day, but if Donald Trump said it,
Right.
it's only adding to his big
his
portfolio.
regular
His portfolio of racism is pretty thick already,
narcissistic.
right? So I feel the same thing with John Snyder. John Snyder's always been kind of a right-wing dude. He supports Donald Trump. He's not outwardly, but when Donald Trump first came out, he donated money, and everyone knows it. So when anything comes out about him, they're gonna trash him. And the pizza market is so competitive.
It is.
I don't know how these guys make money. They're selling pizza for like $5 now.
Yeah, well, they need to. They trying, but Shaquille as their spokesperson, I think it'll do good for them. But are you really fixing the problem? Shaq might be doing this. Is he giving back the money to the community? Because that's typically what I look for him to do. So let's just see how Papa John and Big Papa. I better not say Big Papa. Wait, I better not say that on there.
Well, it's funny. Someone just reminded me that the original Big Papa, his death anniversary was just like last week or something like that. So that was all over Facebook. But I'm really intrigued by this because I actually think it's funny because you hear about Kylie Jenner and all these athletes and models that are going towards becoming
off there.
I actually think that Shaquille O'Neal has got to be coming. He's got to be coming
now.
close.
I would hope so.
Because
he's
this guy,
almost 60.
You have him, you have Magic Johnson, that are really intelligent with their money. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. R.Kelly had to have made close to the money that Shaquille O'Neal has made.
Yeah.
But they're in two different situations.
Yeah.
Jay-Z is the same thing. They're in two different situations. So obviously you have to be smart in general about your money, right? Like Shaquille has been.
Well, Shaquille is a big dude. I don't think nobody want to see that man coming in as a beast, smacking you upside your head. R.Kelly, they might knock him out a little bit.
Big dude, but he's also a pussycat. I remember when he went to college.
That's why I like him.
He went back to school. He didn't have to. Nobody who's got $50 million needs to go
but
get
his
a master's
childhood
degree.
was rough.
Yeah, and he was like,
around,
you know what this dude said?
Mom.
He said, from now on, only kids call me Shaq. From now on, I want people
Mr.
over 18.
O'Neal.
They call him Dr. Shaquille O'Neal.
Wow.
He wants them to call him Dr. Shaquille O'Neal.
And he really is?
And he's a doctor. And then he's got a doctorate.
What kind of?
Oh, man,
a doctorate.
Yeah,
okay.
he's got a doctorate. He's not a medical doctor. No.
What kind of doctor is
He might be a doctor of basketball court. They need a doctor that rim after you put a ball through it.
Pizza.
But that's the great thing about Shaq is that he's over 7 foot tall.
Always reinventing himself.
Always reinventing himself. He's over 7 foot tall, right?
He's never complacent.
He's never been intimidating, though.
And he's always been an honest dude. His whole character has always been honest.
And one of the big things about being a black man, I have a little experience about that in America. One of the big things about being a black man in America is not being too intimidating. My father always tells me my arms are too big. You're gonna scare the white people or whatever. And, for real, I get that. My father's an old school dude. He's gonna get mad at me for saying this. He's an old school dude. He's like, yo, your arms are too big. You know, you're gonna start scaring some of the white people you work with. And me, I'm just like, whatever, man. But Shaq is over 7 feet tall, and the fact that he can cross over and sell more pizzas than the white guy does.
We have to see. We have to see how it goes for him.
Well, Dick, you know what he said the other day? This goes to you saying that he's remaking himself. He said that I'm in the business of fun. That's a marketing statement. And everybody's in it, so it's now time to have a pizza party.
But it's true to his personality, though.
I think because of his sports background and because of the ties that sports have with pizza, I think this is a great idea.
Especially men, you know, I know we all like pizza, but men typically eat a little bit more pizza than we do. Right. I would just say that, hypothetically speaking.
And let me just let you know that being a board member on a publicly traded.
Yes.
I went to law school. My training before law school was I have a degree in finance, a BS in finance. So I know about being publicly traded companies.
Right.
You know, being publicly traded is why Jeffrey Bezos is the richest man in the world. Basically, they're multiplying the number of stock he has times the how much the stock is worth, and that comes up to $140 billion for him.
Right.
When you're on the board of a company, that's pretty much the most plus job you can have outside of being on the Supreme Court. You just tell people what you think. You know, basically, this is what I think of the law. Take it or leave it. You know, give him like $500 million worth of stock.
Yeah, and that's why I'm excited.
And be like, yo, meeting, we'll just give you like another. And at the meeting, all you gotta tell us is how to make black people not mad at us anymore.
And can you be our spokesperson so we can stand behind you?
And I'm gonna tell you straight up,
it's gonna work though.
When Shaq gets on TV for the Super Bowl,
it works.
When Shaq gets on TV for the Super Bowl with Papa John's pizza in his hands,
it's over.
People are gonna buy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
People are gonna buy it. So Shaq is a winner in my book. I hope he does spread the love. Like, very proud.
I'm sure he will.
A lot of people talk junk about LeBron James. Is he the GOAT or what have you?
Why though?
I'll tell you this. This great basketball player, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Wow, my mind is really blank today. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is a great writer these days, and he put an end to the whole GOAT discussion with me. Basically, he said, you know, LeBron wins this because the most important place you can be the greatest of all time is on the streets, not on the court. And LeBron is the GOAT on the streets. Michael Jordan did any kind of work like LeBron is doing. LeBron pumped $40 million into that school of his own money.
Wow.
He didn't ask for money from nobody else.
Wow.
Then on top of that, he made sure everybody got a bicycle to get to school.
I'm saying, you do things for the kids. That's all about what our future is.
That makes him my hero.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And he even said it. He said, Stephen Curry even said the same thing. He said, I don't really care that much about what happens here.
Right.
I try to be the bigger man off the court.
Right.
And in that way, LeBron James is the GOAT. And I must say that it looks like Shaquille O'Neal is going to be in the top as well. I mean, already a Hall of Famer.
Right.
Already a great guy. But never seen him angry. Even when he told parents to stop calling him, Shaq. Yeah. He called me doctor now.
He said it
in a way. And this is what goes to my beef with the president about don't pay attention to what he says. What you say is everything. How you say it is everything.
Everything.
You can tell somebody to kiss your ass, but say it in a way where they walk away smiling.
It's your body language.
It's your tone, it's your body language. It's how you say things that matter. And everyone wants to pay attention to that. So with that said, we are at 10:56.
Woo!
I do believe I have one more song to play for you.
You better play a good song.
I'm hoping it's not the same one.
I know one thing.
Announce your thing today again, though. Tell everyone what's going to be.
Oh, yes. So at 4 o'clock over at New Antioch, we'll be having an African fashion show. I will be modeling my own dress. And I would love for people to come out and say hello to me. I'm Gail. And, try that out and see how it goes. If this is the only time you be at church, Come out and check us out.
All right, so about to play. Let's see what's going on.
Oh, my hair look crazy on the screen, Lord. Oh.
I'll turn it off. Don't worry about it. That what you weren't on the mic just now.
How about this?
I love this song.
I see.
This is a big What song back in the day.
Oh my God. Like the 1920.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Oh God.
Thank you for coming. I'm sorry it's so rough, man. Every time,
okay.
you know what it is? Every time I come
Okay.
in. Every time I come in. Oh yeah.